Hello, fellas and ladies. Ignore the location change. I'm moving stuff around, and I'm testing new angles. So don't talk about what my door. Don't talk about what my door looks like. Okay, I know it looks. I know it's a terrible looking door, but don't talk about it. The festivals are wrapped up, and we are just a few weeks away from the season officially getting on. Critics are about to chime in, Globes are coming. I'm literally shooting this video an hour before the Gotham nominations. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get right into Best Picture here. Got a couple more videos in the next couple weeks for predictions. I'm ready. Festivals have happened. They're come and gone. Regional festivals are currently going on, but everything has been seen. I've seen most of everything. There's a couple of blind spots still, and obviously I haven't seen the big stuff. I have a really good grasp at the moment, I think. But a couple of things that are gone since the last time I did a prediction video. The ones that are now officially in the graveyard now that we have an update on them. The biggest one obviously is Rental Family. That's out. I loved it. But some people seem to think it's just okay. And obviously it lost that TIFF prize. The only thing really keeping it alive was that, and it didn't even rank. We can kind of say goodbye to it. I tried to see if I could make it happen. It didn't end up working out because it wasn't very good, but I think the Witch of the Kremlin is gone. After the Hunt is definitely gone. Nobody seems to like it. Anemone is a giant flop. It's over. The Smashing Machine. Yeah, that's out. That's out. Dwayne Johnson may not even happen. Nouvelle Vogue, I was maybe thinking going into the festival season that maybe I'll watch it and I'll maybe it's still there's still life in it. No. Hedda people really like, but Amazon's dumping it. That's kind of out. Late Fame is nothing. Christie is Sydney Sweeney, if that. Battle of a Small Player is definitely out. And this one's a little bit more of breaking news, but Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is out. It has officially reached Rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's not doing good at the box office. Goodbye. Jeremy Allen White may not even get it anymore. Let's start off with the obvious thing. I am not one of you fucking clowns who questioned One Battle After Another, but now the questioning has officially come to an end for almost everybody. One Battle After Another is one of the most obvious things ever. It's gonna win. It's just gonna win, I think. This is some of the best reviews of PTA's career. Just look at those scores, look at those reviews, read them, and maybe you don't have to. We've all already seen the movie. It's kind of a bit of a phenomenon. It just kind of hit the film world by storm, and everyone went to go see it. It's such a huge thing. It's got a technical thing to it. It's definitely Paul Thomas Anderson's moment. It's his time to win. He's gonna get director. He's probably just gonna get screenplay. There's so much to this movie that is just so obvious to me. It's politically relevant. It's genre bendy. It's got a nice father-daughter thing going on. Nom potential is crazy. Some people even think you can get 6 acting noms. I don't quite think it's gonna reach 6. Clear to me that this is such a hit. It's gonna get picture. Let's forget about the fact that it's just gonna win Best Picture for a minute. It's gonna get the nomination. That's secure. No one else is secure, despite some people getting some reservations. Sinners is still getting Best Picture. I think Sinners is still likely the mascot of cinema in 2025. Maybe One Battle has overtaken that a little bit, but I still think Sinners is a huge deal. It was obviously a sensation. It's this genre spectacle while still being a prestige period drama that was universally acclaimed, and critics are gonna go for it as well as guilds. For those who are getting cold feet on Sinners, remember that guilds are gonna go nuts for it. I also think it matters that they're re-releasing it in this week on 70mm IMAX. I found the fear for this film a little silly. I know it's April now, and it's in the midst of a bunch of festival heaters, but it's still this sensation, and Warner Brothers isn't just gonna forget about it. They're still pumping that shit to voters. For the record, I also think that there's still a really solid shot that this movie leads the nominations. This movie is just simply up for nominations that One Battle After Another isn't, the design categories, for example. So I would not forget about this movie. I think that I don't think anyone thinks it's not getting nominated, but I think some people are getting cold feet on it being a top 5, which I would not do. To me, there are 5 movies that are a lock, and then there are 8 films that I'm very confident in. But let's talk about the 5 locks first. I'll talk about One Battle After Another. I'll talk about Sinners. Now let's talk about Hamnet. Last time I did a prediction video, I guess that could be an interesting thing. I had one battle after another. I want to say 6 or 7, something like that. I never doubted it, but some of y'all made me put it lower than I believed. I had Sinners at 1. That was changed because of one battle after another. And then Hamnet. It's a weird journey for me. I had it at, I believe, 9. I thought what was going to happen was Hamnet was going to be a critic, a very well received film, but maybe not like a critic-y movie. Nope. This is got some of the best critic scores of the year. It's like this sensation, and it won the TIFF People's Choice Award. This was a festival animal. This and No Other Choice, I think, won the festival season. It was just such a sensation at the circuit, especially with Telluride and TIFF. It's obviously this period drama. It's got the acting. Jesse Buckley's probably just gonna win. Paul Mescal's getting in. The main thing is that it makes people cry. You got this Oscar-winning director on the helm with Chloe Zhao, and this tearjerker with acting, win potential, and a bunch of tech noms. How does this go wrong, I would say? I would have to ask, how does this go wrong? Like, acclaimed. It's Oscar bait that's, like, universally acclaimed because it's, like visual poetry. I don't think it's going to win, though. I think that it's too, like, this slow-burning, like, visual poetry kind of thing. I don't really know if a win is there, but it's got the nom on lock. I think Chloe Zhao's got to get a director nomination. Screenplay is probably happening, acting. Like, I think that we got another lock in our hands. Same with Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme, Surprise, Blade, New York, to Fireworks. Now, technically, the film is still under embargo. From what I can tell, the people who I know who've seen it, like, there's no hyperbole going on. Like, this is truly, like, something special. It's got that Uncut Gems style of, like, Safdie mayhem. Like, apparently, Josh Safdie's not, like, compromising his, like, stuff for an audience, which I do stand by. That nowadays, like, the Academy is a lot more open to stuff like that. I mean, Anora just won. But on top of that, like, Josh Safdie got, like, a big budget from A24 to make this sprawling sports epic with possibly a lead actor from Timothée Chalamet. This feels like the moment for Josh Safdie. I don't think he would miss director. That doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'll get into director in a different video. But that movie, that category is stressing me the fuck out. Unless somehow reviews come out and it's just all a lie, like, I just don't see how this isn't obviously a big thing. It's not like Babylon where, like, reviews, like, reactions right off the bat. Like, it had the reactions, then, like, review embargo lifted later. This one, like, Babylon, even then, like, you saw the divisiveness, like, right out the gate. This one, I'm not seeing that. And you got these, like, several tech potential things, plus the potential for a actor winner. Yeah, we're good. Marty Supreme's getting in. The last movie I see as a just absolute lock is Sentimental Value. You may have heard reports from myself and possibly other people who were in the circuit saying that Sentimental Value just didn't go quite as well at the Fall Festival circuit, and that is true, I would say. But I would also say that the movie's still, like, universally acclaimed. Like, everyone I know still absolutely adored it. It's just that, like, Cannes, it was just unanimous 5 out of 5, and that wasn't quite the case at Telluride, TIFF in New York, even though everyone was still, like, really into it. I do sense that genres and, like, these big spectacle films are playing a huge part in the Oscar race this year, and this doesn't quite cross that, to be fair. I do see a reality where this slips from the top 5, but let's be clear here. This movie's getting nominated for Best Picture. Like, it is a lock. We got 4 acting nominations that feel very, very good right now, with Stellan Skarsgård possibly winning. I think Inga Ibzar-Elias, Elle Fanning, and Renata Reinsve, of course, are just so in. Maybe SAG and the guilds are, like, kind of not quite on this movie's wavelength. But, like, BAFTA and Globe and Critics' Choice are going to go for it. Like, I think we're in the clear. This is the Trier moment. Like, maybe he misses director. Like, I don't quite buy the thing where it's like, oh, he went to Cannes, that means he's getting, like, you know, director, like, automatically. I don't quite buy that. Are we implying that, like, his fate would be different had it not been ready in time? I don't know. This being a more low-key family drama doesn't, like, again, it doesn't blend quite with the rest of these big scale movies, as it's not going to get double-digit noms. But again, like, everybody loves it. This is a top 5 movie for a lot of people, if not top 10. So I think we're good. Like, you know, this is getting in. You can maybe say, oh, it's, like, maybe drops to, like, 6 or something like that. That I can see. But, like, predict this for picture. Like, this is getting in. I think the winning thing is off the table now. Like, I see a lot less people. I see a lot of people a lot less, like fireworky. But we got this. We can keep talking about Neon for a second, because there's a film that I'm very confident in that, while everyone agrees is in the conversation for Best Picture, I think not everyone's quite on board with it yet. Some reasons I get, a lot of reasons I do not. I think No Other Choice is pretty, in my head, feels very secure. Like I said, there are 5 locks that I'm sure of, and then 3 more that I'm very secure in, but I won't call a lock. And No Other Choice is one of those movies. It really feels like Park Chan-wook's moment to shine. I did call this before the festivals, and it seemed to have gone about as well as I thought. It was universally acclaimed. It seems to be going to these regional festivals where I think it seems like it's just getting better and better. It just feels like the moment for Park Chan-wook to get in. And while directors stacked up in a way that maybe he may somehow miss director, which feels strange for this to happen, it's still got a solid haul. Screenplay feels pretty secure, pretty lock, honestly. I think screenplay's a lock. It being one of the most acclaimed films of the year, it's strange to think that critics may not go that hard for it because they can be weird about these things. With that said, I do feel like critics will do it some favors, and on top of that, Globes are gonna do it. Them splitting it like this, Globes, I think they're gonna gonna do Jay Kelly instead of No Other Choice. A lot of the arguments I hear are that Neon has a lot. That's fair. I can get behind that. But the ones I don't get is the people going oh, but Decision to Leave missed. Welcome to your first Oscars. I think the Academy has evolved big time, but even with that caveat, it's very obvious to me at least that this is not the weird psychosexual vague thrillers of that Decision to Leave and The Handmaiden or Old Boy are. This is a pretty universal subject. It's dealing with AI and workforces and unemployment and all these things, and it's done in this really kooky genre way, obviously, but also it's a very easy to grasp film. It's obviously very bleak, but it's still it's not like anyone's gonna watch it and be confused. It's very accessible in its commentary, at least in comparison to his other stuff where you gotta watch it maybe multiple times to fully grasp it. This one's easy to grasp on a first go, even if there's a lot more under the surface. I think the doubts for this movie are a little benign. I don't buy a lot of the doubts against it. I mean, it did straight up win the TIFF International Choice Award, which some will go, oh, but that's the first time. How do we know it's correlation? I think you're missing the point if you say, oh, but it's a correlated thing. What you are missing is that we now have an audience prize that went to No Other Choice instead of all these other international players Sentimental Value, and it was just an accident. To me, that's a bigger deal than people are giving it credit for. That's huge. It's the same voting system as People's Choice Awards. I don't know. To me, this feels very obvious. I don't really know what is working against it, to a degree that it can't at the very least get a bottom 5 slot. The other Neon contender I have, it was just an accident. Now, this movie feels very set for me. I have no qualms keeping this in. I think it's obviously one of the year's most acclaimed films. It's the Palme d'Or winner, and that got a lot of attention. Jafar Panahi's Neon's doing a great job of sending Panahi around. They're doing the same thing with Park, granted, but Panahi's around, and it's really doing wonders. People are really paying attention. The ending obviously is sticking with a lot of people, and that helps a lot. I don't really have a case against it was just an accident at this very moment, to be completely honest, other than its haul sucks, but that's fine. A sucky haul comes with the fact that it's probably gonna be in the bottom tier of the picture. It's never going to be a top 5er, which is why I don't think editing is on the table, whereas No Other Choice, that movie's an editing extravaganza. It can get away with it being a bottom 5er. It just is so clearly buzzy right now. It's gonna, you don't see a lot of 5 out of 5s where it was just an accident, but there might be enough people saying this is one of my favorite movies of the year. It's probably going to happen. And then the final film that I feel very, very secure in is Frankenstein. This is about where I had it in the last video. And to be clear, I flip-flopped a little bit. The reviews came out, they were very good, but a little mixed positive. Some people were that's it for that movie. And then it kept playing the festival season, and it started getting better and better. And now it's in release, and this I think we're good. I think a lot of people have settled that this movie is in. This is clearly Netflix's top contender. It's now reached critical acclaim. It's got text galore that's gonna get in. It could probably get Jacob Elordi in. Screenplay is very possible. Maybe Guillermo del Toro gets a DGA nom. I don't know if he'd get the Oscar nomination at the end of the day, but he's definitely a contender for DGA. I think the fact that Netflix is using this movie to spearhead the whole theatrical thing that they're trying to do with this limited release plus the IMAX release, I think that also gives this movie a legitimacy that's not just some Frankenstein remake going on Netflix. Nobody's treating this movie like some monster movie remake. It's actually being treated like an adaptation of Mary Shelley's novel. And plus, man, everyone loves Guillermo del Toro. It ranked second at TIFF, and a lot of people were just oh, that's because Toronto loves Guillermo del Toro. They like seeing him. Well, how is it? How is the Academy different? Everybody in the film world, like the fact that this is like required viewing for anyone in the film world, means a lot, and the fact that people are really responding to it, and then they're gonna have like Guillermo del Toro and Jacob Elordi going to every screening. Like, I think that means a lot. So I think this is just in. I feel very set in stone on Frankenstein. I think the top 8 that I have: One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, No Other Choice, Frankenstein, and It Was Just an Accident. Yeah, like, yeah, that, like, I don't really know what is going against any of those 8. At least not, like, okay, I know what's going against some of them, but not to a degree where I'm like, oh, I should be a little cautious. Especially in a guaranteed lineup of 10, I, like, you know what I mean? Now let's go with what's next. The last 2 are the ones that, like, nobody's seen. Like, okay, well, at number 9 is I have Wicked for Good. I have put it in finally. I have conceded. I still stand by a lot of the things I said about Wicked for Good, that I don't think it's going to be quite as good. Like, I know there are reactions out to it now, and most people have thankfully caught on that it's mostly just like them showing it to the people that they knew were gonna like it, that they already liked it before they saw it, that they were gonna go like, this is Oscar. Like, every reaction I saw hasn't been, I love this movie. It's more, this movie's so good, this is gonna get Oscar. It's very easy to see through what's going on. I'm gonna wait till I see it for myself. But look, I still stand by that this movie is gonna do worse than the first one. I stand by that Wicked is just not this, like, big thing. Like, it's obviously a huge sensation. I'm not taking anything away from it. But I do stand by that it's not gonna actually, like, have this Lord of the Rings effect where, like, it had, like, oh, they're gonna celebrate the legacy of Wicked. It's like, it's a 1-year event thing. So I'm not really buying that it's gonna be that strong. But the other thing I said was it isn't gonna be as good, and I stand by that. But it might just be good enough. It just feels like it's gonna hit the notes that the first one did, at least to a degree that it works on people. That it could get, like, Cynthia and Ariana in. I think Frankenstein will probably steal, like, the design awards from them. I don't think it's, like, winning 2 years in a row. I think stuff like that I'm worried about. Like, oh, we just, like a couple months ago gave it costumes, and Frankenstein we also just nominated these 2 performances for the same thing. I think these are all factors that we need to consider. But I think it, you know, in a guaranteed lineup of 10, I think it might be good. Like, it might have enough. Same kind of applies for Avatar. Now, obviously, its haul last time was pretty weak. It doesn't look like much is going to change here. Although it does have a Billie Eilish song you could add on to that. Avatar might just be in this position where it's just like, it's enough for me. Like, yeah, it's going to win visual effects, get your tech noms, and your picture nomination. It's going to be popping off as, like, voting, like, award shit is happening. It's a weird thing with Avatar where, like, it does feel like last time I've said it before, last time when Avatar came out, it was like this big thing. I'm like, oh my god, Avatar's back. And this time it's like a much smaller gap, and I think that's just going to cause less, excitement. That said, I do still feel like people are very excited whenever an Avatar movie comes out. I know there's this thing of like, nobody cares about Avatar, and then they see it anyway. It might just catch the zeitgeist again in a way that it like squeezes in, because this is not a top fiver. We know that, but it might just have enough. Like, are the Guilds just not gonna go out for it? Like, maybe not, like, I was not in like a DGA way, but like, isn't PGA gonna do it, and AFI is gonna be in time to do it? I do think enthusiasm for these Avatar movies are gonna have diminishing returns, unless this is just so clearly like better. That's another thing. People kind of were debating whether or not Way of Water was better than the first, and maybe that could be the same here. You know, I'm not ruling it out. It is Jim Cameron, and to be honest, I just, like, I don't know. I'm really confident in my top 8s, but once we get past that, it gets a little dicey. I'm okay having Wicked in. I'm fine with that. I have my trepidation, but I don't think it's enough. And then from there, it's just like, like, I'm really not feeling I need to put any of these in, which is why I'm so, like, fine with the top 10 I have, because nothing else feels like there's enough of a push to just get in. Let's talk about, like, what's on the outside looking in. One of them is Begonia. I think as of now, it's in limited release. By the time of filming, and is officially like dropped to like the 60s on Metacritic. That's not good. I do wonder if there's a world where this reaches the industry and everyone's just like, oh yeah, no, I really like that Begonia movie. Like, I loved the acting, I liked the script and all that. There are things you can nominate for Begonia, and this is going to be a common theme in the next couple of movies I talk about, where there are definitely stuff you can nominate for Begonia, but nothing about this movie is locked up. It might get acting, but it doesn't have to. It might get screenplay, but it doesn't have to. Cinematography, score, like all these things, like don't need to get in. It's not this big scale thing that Yorgos Lanthimos hasn't been getting in for, like Poor Things in the Favorite. It's not getting any of these design nominations. I don't find this movie inaccessible, but it is also mostly just two, like, ideologies clashing at each other in, like, this dude's house. And I don't know if that's gonna make way for, like, these Best Picture, number one votes. But I do wonder if enough voters will watch it and be like, you know what, I liked that a lot, and maybe they just aren't like that enthusiastic vote for Avatar or Wicked again, and they go with Begonia. At this moment, I have no real reason to put it in. Jay Kelly's another movie that I have no actual reason to put in. This is definitely the biggest shift. I thought going into the festivals that Jay Kelly was going to be like this fucking beast, that it was going to get universal acclaim, everyone's going to adore it, we have to, like George Clooney and Adam Sandler are in win contention, and then that just didn't happen. And it went to Venice, and it went pretty, not bad, but definitely poor. And then it went to Telluride in New York, and it got a little better, but, like, I don't know, reviews just didn't improve. It's now, like teetering on the 50s on Metacritic. And now that Frankenstein is just so obviously ahead of it just, you kind of can't help but ask, like, who exactly loves Jay Kelly? Because I do remember, like, people going, like, oh, Telluride's going to save it, and that didn't happen, and it didn't save it. And, oh, New York's going to save it, and that didn't happen. Audiences aren't really going for it. It's got, like, a 3.3 on Letterboxd. Critics aren't going to go out for it. They were going, like, I don't even think they're going to really go that hard for Sandler or Clooney. Critics' Choice might. I think Clooney and Sandler are the only thing keeping Jay Kelly afloat, to be honest. Because I've seen this thing going around that people think that, like, the industry's gonna, like, oh, but that's the thing, movies, that's the thing that we like. Like, they're gonna think because it's about, like, acting and, like, this level of celebrity that you can't connect to reality anymore, and that they're just gonna, like, connect to it. And I've seen this fallacy a lot, that people think that because, like, it's, about Hollywood and the industry, that bad reviews or lukewarm reviews are, like, irrelevant. I myself am a victim of this with last year with Saturday Night. But even Saturday Night had better reviews and did better at the festivals, which I know sounds crazy in hindsight because it lost TIFF, but, like, you gotta remember, like, that played very well at the festivals and nothing happened. It didn't say Babylon, it didn't say, like, Being the Ricardos, and even Babylon Being the Ricardos had nominations you had to give it. I don't get the vibe you need to nominate George Clooney or Adam Sandler. You could, sure, but, like, a lot of these things that Jay Kelly is vouching for, it's only going to happen if he gets into picture. Even something like No Other Choice, it's like, oh, well, it doesn't have to get this and this, but it will get Screenplay International, even if it somehow misses picture. This, like, could get goose-egged, unlike a lot of these other titles that we're talking about. That's kind of the key thing here. We know that certain things are happening for the movies I have in my top 10. Jay Kelly, like, it seemingly is strong in like, actor and supporting actor, but they could miss. Like, they're not locked. And to just assume that the industry's gonna do a 180 on this movie when nobody is, like, falling for this thing, it just, I don't know, it doesn't ring to me as something very likely at this point. Now, I haven't seen it. This is one of the only films that I mentioned so far that I haven't seen, and I am curious what I'll think after I see it. But I don't know. It just feels like to say that, oh, because it's about acting, it'll get in. I feel like we do that all the time, and it just misses the mark. When the reality of Jay Kelly is, like, you don't really have that many people. Like, yeah, somebody loves it. It's not, the reviews are not bad, but the reviews are also something even worse. They're lukewarm. Someone comparing it to Maestro. I hated that movie. But it had better reviews. It just did. And you had to nominate Bradley. You had to nominate Carey Mulligan. You had to nominate makeup. You had to nominate cinematography. There's nothing here you need to nominate. Like, nothing is a lock about Jay Kelly. Train Dreams is a film I have at 11, to be honest. And let me tell you why. Netflix is never going to make this their top priority. Never. Like, they have too many headliners. And now that Frankenstein, like, the dust has settled and reviews have, like, vastly improved, it's very clear that Train Dreams is not going to be the top priority. Here's the thing, though. Train Dreams is a film that everybody adores. It is just, every time someone sees it, they just go like, wow, that floored me. That was a stunning to look at film. I love Joel Edgerton. I think that there is a reality where this movie, even though, again, Netflix is not going to push this film, they're going to push it, but they're not going to, it's not the number one. This might have the makings of a very strong grassroots campaign where people just start watching it when it comes out on Netflix and they fucking love it, and it slowly starts to become people's top fives of the year. I think that is what Train Dreams' path to Best Picture is, and the more I think about it, the more I envision it. Now, here's the problems with the movie. Well, it's very low-key. It's got this very hazy structure and narrative progression that might turn some people off. I don't think audiences will dislike it. I actually think Academy members will really, really love it. And while kind of like Jay Keller, there's something that's locked. If the movie really takes off, I don't see how it would miss cinematography other than like competition. Screenplay's got enough open slots that I think I am predicting this. I don't know if Joel Edgerton would happen, to be honest, but you got score, you got song. I'm really mostly confident in cinematography and screenplay. And for a movie like at the bottom of the 10, like that's like feasible. If Globes suddenly like randomly do this, it might take off from there. At this moment, I think keeping it out might be appropriate, but I don't know. I think like there's something with Train Dreams that's scratching me. That it's like, hey, hold on, like there's something here perhaps. The Secret Agent is an odd one for me. I think I would still be predicting it in the 10 had Neon not fucking bought everything. Right now I can't. I'm already pushing by putting 3 Neons in. I can't put 4. I'm okay with 4 international titles, to be honest. I think if there's 4, they'll nominate 4. But it's more that there's 4 Neon titles. The Secret Agent, I saw the movie and I thought, yep, that could still happen. And people love it. Like, it's really catching on still after Cannes. And I think everyone is catching on to the thing that I fucking said would happen, that Wagner Moura is probably just going to win the Golden Globe for drama, since Timothy and Lee are in comedy. Secret Agent obviously is it's a long film. It's pretty dense. It's a slow burn. I'm not blind to what may be working against this film. And I just can't put this in with 3 other Neon titles. I just can't. And I think it's very obvious to most people that know the choices, and it was just an accident or ahead of it. So I don't know. I can't really do it. Although I do think that this will gather passion, and I think had a different studio bought it, we would still be looking at a picture nominee here, because I really do have faith in this movie still. It's just, it's too many movies from the same studio. Like, it doesn't work like that. Now, The Testament of Anne Lee, okay, this is like the end of the road in terms of me being like, oh, maybe. And from here on out, I think I'm just kind of speculating. Testament of Anne Lee was bought by Searchlight. It's kind of all they have left. I saw Testament of Anne Lee. I thought it was really good, but I have a philosophy. I am never going to predict a movie simply because of the studio, and I stand by that. And Anne Lee is definitely the top priority. However, people really like this movie. I don't deny it, but it's not like it has this love. I think Seyfried doesn't have to get in, but she very well could. It could get score. I think, and then everything else from there is just like, if it gets picture, it gets this. It's not like Frankenstein, where now that it's in picture, we can start speculating other things. Testament of Anne Lee needs to be strong in picture, and then I can start going, oh, maybe costumes, maybe production design. But as of now, I think people really like this film, but don't love it. I think it might just resort to being actress and score or bust. Wake Up Dead Man, I don't really see why this would happen, where, like, Glass Onion didn't. But at the same time, reviews are still pretty fantastic for this film, and I don't see diminishing returns happening here. And I think people are underestimating that this very well could, like, do very strong again, like get PGA and screenplay everywhere. I think this movie's terrific, and I think it's not getting quite the attention I think it maybe deserves. But, it's probably not going to get a picture. Weapons, I think what I said before the festivals happened is becoming true. I am a little more confident in Amy Madigan, and maybe screenplay can like sneak its way up, but it being one of the buzziest films of the year still remains true, but it's still like not that many people's like number ones of the year. And obviously it's a genre movie, although I have 2 horror movies in picture. House of Dynamite feels kind of dead. I don't really know why I'm mentioning it, to be honest. It got raves out of Venice, and then it kind of dropped from there. Even the raves out of Venice were just like, oh yeah, I loved it. But I think now that it's out on Netflix, it's like the audiences have turned on it. Nobody likes the ending, plain and simple. And even if they did, this is a, like, I don't know, this is just a procedural film about, like, government practices. It's not like Vice where it's, like, actually about a person. This is, like, about, like, just, oh, here's what the government has to do, and then there's no ending. It's just a bleak film for the sake of bleakness. This isn't happening. I think Blue Moon, some people are, like, kind of wondering about, since, like, Ethan Hawke is looking very good. I would say that probably not. If it could get actor and screenplay, I get it, but it's still, like, a chamber piece about, like, a guy, like, smoking a cigar and being sad. Like, I don't know who's gonna, like, go out for it. I know it's SBC, but, like, I don't know. I need to, like, see something happen first. The Running Man, hey, just in case. I mean, I'm an Edgar Wright stan. I'm very biased. But, hey, maybe it's like Wicked where, like, it gets seen and everyone fucking loves it. Is this thing on? Hey, everybody seems to like it, but it's just, like, kind of like a Begonia where it's like, hey, reviews are very good, but it's just not this grand spectacle that the director's last couple movies I got in are. And, again, there's nothing you have to nominate here. Sarat, that'd be amazing, but it needs to catch on, which I'm not seeing it do. And Ella McKay, I mean, that trailer made me go, no. But maybe I'm wrong, and it's actually kind of a banger. Who knows? And that's what I got for you for Best Picture. Hopefully I'll get more prediction videos over the next couple weeks before Globes happen, and before Critics' Choice happen. Critics' Choice is first. But award season's finally begun. We're getting there. And I will be here to predict and get everything right. Like, subscribe, and share. Bye.